I'm out here in Destin, Florida. I'm visiting some friends, and you might recognize them. We're going to get into it right now because, man, the truth is,
Do you want to be in this video?
there's so much
Okay.
fear and uncertainty that exists in the marketplace today, and I want to address it all head on because, oh, there he is. We got Kevin 24/7. We got Ron Yates in the house. We got Squirrel Tribe up in the hizzy. Would you like to make an appearance? No, she don't want to make an appearance. So we are not making any appearances today. But what we are going to do is tell you the truth because I don't think there's any argument from anyone watching that inflation is through the roof. I think we can agree on that, right? We know that mortgage interest rates. In fact, today I got an update from Mortgage News Daily showing me where mortgage interest rates are. And I got news for you. Although the Fed can play games and can manipulate data and can bring down mortgage interest rates to continue to have something to point to positively in the economy to get themselves reelected, that can happen. Today I'm going to play the game. Let's pretend they don't. Let's pretend that mortgage interest rates go to where they were in the 70s. Okay. Let's pretend mortgage interest rates are at 15% just for now. Now, I've talked a lot about the undeniable truth that the system right now is set up in so many different ways that it is predictable that at some point it must fail. I'm talking about the banking system. I'm talking about the financial system. I'm talking about the housing market. At some point, logic would dictate that things have to change. They have to break. But let's play for pretend just for now. Let's role play. What happens if it doesn't? What happens if the real estate market, if the housing market continues to appreciate? Let's say everything I've said is fundamentally right, but realistically wrong, and home prices are going to go significantly higher. Well, you might think, as a buyer looking to buy a property, that you're completely screwed. You're going to be at the mercy of the banks. You're going to be at the mercy of your credit. You're going to be at the mercy of your credentials. And I'm here to tell you that is not true. You have options. And it's not even in my best interest to talk about this as a real estate professional, as a boots on the ground operator of a high performance real estate team. It is against my best self-interest to empower you with this information because with it, you can go out there and I'm going to blow your mind with what I'm about to share. So you got to stick around until the end to actually learn what it is. But I am here to let you know you are not at the mercy of having cash in the bank, a high credit score, or the credentials in order to qualify to buy a home. Do you believe me?
I believe you.
That was the wrong answer. We're supposed to fight. It's supposed to be more argumentative here.
Liar.
There we go. So, well, he's right. You can believe me. And recently I found some content from, what's the guy's name? Pace Morgan. On the ride up here to Destin, which is 9 hours from where I live, so it was a hellacious road trip, I had the opportunity to listen to a 6-hour video from Pace Morby. And Pace Morby is a real estate investor, and he has leveraged this strategy of creative financing to the utmost of his ability. And he has made himself a fortune building generational wealth using some of these strategies. Now, I'm not going to go into all of them today, or this will be a 10-hour video, which, by the way, he has a 10-hour video. You can check out his 10-hour video. I would encourage you to do so because after the ride here, I'm fairly certain I'm now an expert at subject to home buying. And that's what we want to talk about today because it is if I'm wrong about all of my predictions, if Ron is wrong about every prediction that he's made, if Kevin is wrong about every common sense, obvious thing that we all know,
There's a good chance I'm probably wrong.
well, I'm not always right, but I'm never wrong. And I can tell you right now that all of the things that are common sense based things that must happen in the future can all be delayed. They can be manipulated. And we could be, I got bad news for you. We could be at the start of the biggest epic bubble in real estate and home values that we've ever seen. So if you thought we were in a bubble yet, it could get exponentially worse. And that might sound great if you're a homeowner. It might sound terrible if you're a first-time home buyer or if you're looking to buy a home, because most likely mortgage interest rates are going to be significantly higher. And yet, if all the bad things don't happen, I do, in terms of market corrections, if the market corrections and crashes don't happen, the one thing that I know definitively is happening as we speak is personal financial distress is on the uptick. The consumer, the homeowner, the married couples whose marriages are in danger because of the personal financial distress that they're feeling right now. There are a lot of folks that are living above their means. And if one or both lose income or lose their job and everything else is still roaring, all the markets are still roaring, all of the other things are intact, and prices are appreciating, it doesn't change the fact that they are dead broke and must cash in order to live their life. So, where am I going with this, and how does this benefit you? Well, I know that there will be distressed sellers, not from an equity perspective or a bank foreclosure perspective, but from a personal financial perspective. Can you weigh in on this? What are your thoughts on that? Do you agree with me, or
I totally
am I out of my mind?
No, well, yeah, you are out of your mind, but you make some good points. But yeah, think about it. Like, there's a lot of sellers out there that are going to find themselves, or there are a lot of potential home owners that are going to be potential sellers in the future. They just don't realize it yet. And they're going to find themselves in a situation where, hey, I've fallen on the hard times. I still have good credit. I don't want to tarnish 20 years of a great record, right? And I think that the situation I'm in right now is temporary, but right now my options are limited. So they're going to be more flexible in terms of what potential buyers of their potential real estate may offer them in the future. And I think you're going to elaborate on what some of those options might be. And these are options that I'm willing to say 99.5%, if not 99.9% of people have never even heard of.
So people don't know what they don't know. And I think there are a lot of people right now that are in complete denial of where they're actually at, because the wealth effect has kicked in. Everybody feels like they are rich. Nobody's feeling a lot. There are people feeling financial distress, but the income earners right now that are thinking about rating their 401k or thinking about taking a HELOC out of their property or drawing down the equity in the form of a HELOC to maintain their lifestyle, or whatever it is they're trying to do the exact same thing that the Fed is in terms of kicking the financial can down the road to deal with it later. There's going to be a lot of high income folks that think they are protected that come to learn that they're not, and come to learn. Jump in.
Yeah, you brought up a great point about a lot of people looking to fall or preparing to fall back on this 401k. But that's a great point you brought up, because if we remember back to when the pandemic kind of started off in 2020, the Fed and the federal government began to become more lenient temporarily through, I think it was the CARES Act, where they allowed people to leverage their 401ks to get down payment money for their homes. So for a lot of people, if they already leverage their 401k to get in, they won't have as much money in their 401k to leverage it to survive.
The key with that was the fact that they allowed you access to $100,000 out of your 401k penalty free. Now, granted, you had 3 years to repay the tax on the income, or repay it completely and avoid the tax. But the big question is, How many people actually paid it back?
So now it's like, how many people are going to get this surprise tax bill?
What's tax on 100K?
Let's just say probably a minimum of 30K.
Bam.
So we are very likely to see many folks who feel wealthy get a surprise in their tax bill. We already know that home insurance rates, at least in the state of Florida, have gone through the roof. A lot of folks are feeling that pain, and I've talked about that a lot. But a lot of folks also seem to have forgotten that in the last crash, there were many sellers that were happy to hand their keys over to whoever the willing, able, and buyer was for cash. And it's been a very long time since that dynamic was in play. But I'm here to tell you that is the dynamic that is going to save a lot of folks a lot of pain, because using creative financing, you can go to and approach a seller who is in trouble, who is in arrears, who owes money and is now negative or behind payments on their home that may be in a 3% mortgage or a 2% mortgage. And you will be able to negotiate a deal with them where it's advantageous and to the benefit of both of you. A win-win, and give them whatever they need in order for them to move credit intact to their next opportunity. And you will then be the owner of their new property. You don't need new credit. You don't need good credit. You don't need any credit. You don't need a loan approval. You don't need a loan. You don't need anything other than the ability to pay their mortgage at the reduced rate relative to today's rate. So if they're in at 2, 3, 4% and mortgage interest rates at the time you're looking to do this are 10, 15, 20, 100%, well, you just got a deal, because the payment you'll be making on the home that they have already, you're not buying the home, you're buying their note. You're securitizing it with the home. So there is no risk to them in the event that you default, and there is no risk to you because the deed is in your name. But you just got a brand new home, which at the time, maybe they bought it at $1 million and it's a 3% note. Okay. Well, if no market crash happens and the home prices continue to skyrocket, that $1 million home that they bought at 3% could be a $3 million home. But you're getting the $1 million payment because you know what to do and what pain points to solve for. Now, I'm not going to go too much further into this because I'm going to create more content on my coming soon Patreon channel, which you must follow if you want to get the inside scoop on how to make these things a reality, because this is not magic unicorn fluff. This is not what you want to hear. Well, it may be what you want to hear, but this is the truth. And there are creative solutions in every market. There's no such thing as a bad market. It's just, whom is it good for? Now, I hope you enjoyed this content. And if you did, please like the video, subscribe, check out both of their channels because both of them rule. We got Ron Yates, we got Kevin 24/7 in the house, and I think we got Squirrel Tribe back there. She's doing Squirrel Tribe things, and we love her. We love her for it because nobody can Squirrel Tribe out better than she can. And did you know that a loofah is a thing? Because I just learned it and found out that I have been cleaning myself inappropriately or not the right way for most of my adult life. But again, nobody wants to hear about that. Check out my next video because I suspect you will love it a lot. And until next time, peace.